Good morning. I, Lieutenant Col Vijendar Kadyan, on 25th anniversary of Kargil Diwas, wish to congratulate all. Today we honor and salute the brave soldiers who fought unparalleled courage and selfless to protect every inch of our Indian land. We bow to our young officers and men who brought glory to our nation during the Kargil War in year 1999. It was a 50 days war. We also extend our deepest gratitude to the families who sacrificed their loved ones for the nation's safety and honor. The resilience and strength will keep inspiring us all and the future generations and the militrymen for the izzat of our platoons and the regiments. Let us all salute these heroes and families and pledge to contribute towards a stronger nation. The message is to be right and be bold. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. During my childhood, when I was about 8 years old, the euphoria of 1971 war, which we fought against Pakistan, had its own stories. Also combined with my family traditions of joining army, and also as a young boy, passion for the guns led me to Sainik School. I appeared for All India exam and got selected for Sainik School Chittorgarh, which is a famous land of Maharana Pratap. This school has instilled ethics, team spirit, and provided an education designed to prepare us for armed forces. The dedication of our teachers left a permanent mark of values on us. I am proud to say that this school has produced Chief of Army Staff, lot of Army commanders, generals, very senior IAS officers, IPS officers, and even the current Vice President of India is from the same school. My sole passion in childhood has been to wear the uniform and serve my country with passion and with dignity. And that took me to realize this dream. I joined Indian Armed Forces. During the platoon, and we learned a lot of things from our men. Out of that, the few qualities which we learned during our tenure in the armed forces stand out are self-discipline, leadership, ethics, teamwork, situational awareness. What is happening around us? That's very important, and take action accordingly. Understanding our people with whom we have to go for war, for operations. And above all, the most important thing to be a leader is trust. During my long tenure in infantry, I did a lot of operations in my platoon 9 Mahar. In counterinsurgency operations in Jammu Kashmir, northeast part of the country, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Assam. Also Siachen operations, took part in Kargil War, Parakram. Besides this, a lot of international border patrols in various parts of the country, and also took part in civil aid during earthquake in Gujarat. Besides this, long logistic courses across the country. How about Siachen, which plays a very important role for intrusion of Pakis into Kargil sector. And Siachen plays an important role because they wanted to cut off the logistic route to Siachen and Ladakh. So therefore it becomes very imperative and very important to explain the Siachen, and with pride I can say that I served in Siachen with my platoon in the Central Glacier. Therefore I'll be able to explain Siachen in detail. Siachen is a glacier in East Kargil. It lies between the Saltoro Ridge and the main Karakoram Ridge in the east. It's about 76 kilometers and second longest glacier in the non-polar area in the whole world. The heights of the peaks range from 17,880 to about 25,330 feet. And the temperature can drop to minus 55 degrees centigrade. And Indian forces were deployed there since 13th April 1984, where we had taken the initiative from the Pakistanis when they were planning to occupy Siachen. And that has been always the cause for concern for Pakistan because we are at the dominating heights in Siachen Glacier. And this is the highest battleground of the world since 1984. The main passes in the Siachen include Siala, Bilafonla and Gyeongla. Indian troops maintain about 110 kilometers of the actual ground position line known as AGPA.
Good.
The border or the LOC has been defined till NJ 9842, but beyond that, it is only actual ground position line. In Siachen, we face two challenges: the enemy firing and the harsh nature, with weather-related casualties being very high. But however, despite these challenges, despite difficulties, despite logistic maintenance, Indian troops maintain and serve the Siachen with pride and elan for the country. If you see the line of LOC, it can be further divided into three parts. One is Mashko Valley, second is Dras Valley, third one is Kaksar and Kargil, fourth is Batalik and Turtuk. This is the way I will divide the whole Kargil operation. Now LOC runs along this area in Dras and Kargil. This is nearest to the national highway. I will try to explain now what are the reasons for this Kargil operation. As I mentioned about 1984, when the India took initiative and occupied this strategic location of Siachen Glacier. So since then, they were looking for an opportunity to cut off Siachen from rest of the India, or to say Ladakh from rest of the India. So if they cut off the National Highway 1 Alpha, then the logistic cannot be maintained and therefore military from Siachen has to fall back. So therefore, Musharraf was the Chief of Army Staff for the Pakistan. So he planned that better to take the locations or the strategic heights in Dras area, Batalik area, Mashko and Turtuk area, so that the logistics will be cut off. Along with my company, in the month of May, 1st May, we started moving to occupy Central Glacier. And it takes about 10 to 12 days to reach our post in Siachen. When we were climbing up, half the battalion has already moved into Siachen. And the balance of the half battalion was to come up after relieve us after the 3 months. And immediately it was found that some infiltration has taken place in Kargil area. So half of our battalion was moved to Kargil operations. So my battalion becomes a unique battalion, which half the battalion was in of Meghdut and half the battalion of Vijay, which is Kargil operation. Our battalion took part into Turtuk area in the Kargil operation. Around 3rd of May, the first infiltration was noticed by Shepherd in Batalic area that there are some unusual movement in the top hill area. He came and told the army people. Then they sent a patrol in Kaksar, where Captain Kalia was the first officer who took from Jat regiment. He took the patrol, moved up the hills and found some unusual movement, and that was basically the Pakistanis. He was killed by them, and that was the beginning of the Kargil War. The operation of Kargil started from 3rd of May and continued to 26th of July. And 27th of July, we had cleared off all those dominating, recaptured all the heights and cleared off the Pakistanis from our land. In the Kargil, the main battles which took place is a Herculean task. In the military history, such kind of battles were never fought earlier. So I would say these 50 days of war between India and Pakistan, that's Kargil War, was one of the deadliest and one of the battle clashes which never in the world was fought at this kind of altitude. So we have to imagine that what must have gone into the minds of those young officers and young people. I think it was sheer loyalty towards their Sultan, towards the nation. And when we read a lot of liars, like when we read his letter, before going for a task, when he was going for attack, he wrote a letter to his mother that I will not be able to come back. With his own hand, he wrote a letter, gave it to his buddy, that post it. So all these officers, we imagine, we have to put ourselves into their shoes and think what mental state they were in, how they got these laurels to our country. Each countryman has to think how, through which circumstances a military man goes through, how they carry out their duties in this kind of a terrain. These are the lessons which we need to learn, and that is why I always say our Indian Army, Indian Armed Forces is the best. So this is the kind of battle, and to say that this small battle of 50 days got 4 Paramveer Chakras, which is the highest gallantry award, 11 Mahavir Chakras, and 11 citations to the battalion, because when we go for a war, it is not one person who does it, but it is the whole battalion, whole unit, whole company, whole platoon has to put their life at risk. So therefore, the army gave citations to the whole battalion, which becomes, these awards becomes culture, which becomes the inspiring moments for the next generations to come, and this keeps inspiring. That's why these awards, citations are the moments of pride for the next generations. After having served infantry in my platoon, I one day made a mind to join Circuit, to give experience and also share the values, the training which has been given in the army. Same way, how can we take it to the front? For that, my journey commenced from guns to the jets. And Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, helped me to understand the business values, brand. That gave me a good platform. I joined Krishniah Chetty Sons at Bangalore, and I found that there are a lot of similarities between the values and ethics it being a 155 years old company, a heritage company, it also works on ethics. So therefore, the discipline, the leadership, the teamwork, what we learned, same things are required at corporate, and I tried to inculcate same habits, same values into the people and into the employees working at the company. This is a very important thing, that any task, given task, no individual can complete it unless it with support of the team members. Therefore, teamwork, if it is there and you earn the respect of your team, anything can be done. And there is another important thing is situational awareness. Like in army, we have situation changing, scenarios changing in the operations and in the war. Same way in the business also, situation changes, and therefore we have to quickly take a decision and bring that flexibility in our decisions. So therefore, situational awareness becomes very important. And another very important thing is understanding your team and guide them, mentor them, coach them, and they can do wonders for us. And the important thing above all is trust. Trust your team. Same what we talked about Kargil War or Siachen, it was trust in team which brought laurels. Same is in the business situations also. If we trust our teams, anything can be achieved, any goals can be achieved. So that's great thing which I found similarities, and these are the qualities which we try to imbibe during the tenure in the corporate. And for a country, military is important and same is business. If the militarily country is very strong and economically, business-wise, it's strong, therefore the country can progress at faster pace. Thank you. Jai.